The universe is vast. We are but a small part of it. Our lives are fleeting. This is the essence of Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy. Schopenhauer, a 19th-century German philosopher, is known for his pessimistic worldview. He believed that life is inherently characterized by suffering. Happiness, for Schopenhauer, was merely the temporary absence of pain. Schopenhauer argued that our desires are the root of our suffering. We constantly strive for things we think will bring us fulfillment, but even when we achieve our goals, the satisfaction is fleeting. Schopenhauer's philosophy is not for the faint of heart. It is a stark reminder of the impermanence of life and the inevitability of suffering. But it also offers a path towards a more peaceful existence. By understanding the nature of our desires, we can find ways to minimize their power over us. Arthur Schopenhauer's life was marked by both privilege and hardship, a duality that would profoundly shape his philosophical outlook. Born into a wealthy family in 1788, he enjoyed a comfortable upbringing, surrounded by the luxuries and opportunities that wealth could afford. However, he also experienced loss and disappointment, which would leave an indelible mark on his psyche. His father's suicide and a strained relationship with his mother cast a shadow over his early years, creating a sense of isolation and melancholy. These experiences, coupled with his introspective nature, shaped his philosophical outlook, driving him to explore the deeper, often darker aspects of human existence. Schopenhauer was drawn to the works of thinkers who grappled with the darker aspects of human existence, finding solace and understanding in their writings. Immanuel Kant, a prominent philosopher of the Enlightenment, deeply influenced Schopenhauer, providing a framework for his own ideas. He adopted Kant's ideas about the limitations of human perception, which became a cornerstone of his own philosophical inquiries. Schopenhauer believed that we can only access the phenomenal world, the world as it appears to us, not the world as it truly is, a concept that would resonate throughout his work. Eastern philosophies, particularly Buddhism and Hinduism, also resonated with Schopenhauer, offering him a broader perspective on suffering and existence. He found parallels between their concepts of suffering, desire, and liberation, and his own developing ideas about the human condition, enriching his philosophical tapestry. At the heart of Schopenhauer's philosophy lies the concept of the will to live. This is not the conscious will we associate with everyday decisions. It is a blind, relentless force that drives all living things to survive and reproduce. It is the fundamental energy of the universe. The will to live manifests as a constant striving for satisfaction. We experience this as desire. We desire food, shelter, companionship, recognition, and countless other things. We believe these things will bring us happiness. However, according to Schopenhauer, satisfaction is always temporary. Once a desire is fulfilled, a new one emerges. This creates a never-ending cycle of desire and gratification, leading to more desire and so on. This cycle, Schopenhauer argued, is the root of human suffering. We are constantly chasing after something, never truly content with what we have. This leaves us feeling perpetually dissatisfied and unfulfilled. Consider the desire for material possessions. We work tirelessly to acquire wealth, believing it will bring us happiness. We buy the latest gadgets, the most fashionable clothes, the biggest houses, but the satisfaction is always fleeting. The initial thrill of the new purchase fades quickly. We become accustomed to our possessions. They no longer bring us the same joy. We then set our sights on the next desirable item, perpetuating the cycle. The same principle applies to other desires. The joy of achieving a promotion at work is often short-lived. The excitement of a new relationship eventually gives way to the routines of daily life. Even seemingly positive experiences, like listening to music or spending time with loved ones, offer only temporary respite from the will's relentless drive. The enjoyment we derive from these activities is finite. It eventually fades, leaving us wanting more. Schopenhauer's philosophy may seem overwhelmingly bleak. He paints a picture of human existence defined by suffering. However, he also offers ways to mitigate this suffering. He provides paths to achieve a measure of peace. Schopenhauer identifies three primary ways to alleviate the suffering caused by the will to live: aesthetic contemplation, compassion, and resignation. These practices, he argues, can help us to temporarily transcend the cycle of desire and find moments of genuine peace. These paths offer different approaches to achieving inner peace. Aesthetic contemplation allows us to temporarily lose ourselves in beauty. Compassion connects us with the suffering of others, shifting our focus away from our own desires. Resignation involves accepting the nature of reality and relinquishing our attachment to outcomes. Section 6. The power of art. Finding solace in aesthetic contemplation. Art, according to Schopenhauer, provides a temporary escape from the relentless demands of the will. When we immerse ourselves in a beautiful painting, a moving piece of music, or a captivating performance, we enter a state of pure contemplation. In these moments, we are no longer driven by our desires. We are not concerned with the past or the future. We are fully present in the moment, completely absorbed in the object of our aesthetic experience. This state of pure contemplation, Schopenhauer argues, offers a brief but powerful reprieve from suffering. It allows us to transcend our individual identities and connect with something larger than ourselves. In these moments, we experience a sense of peace and tranquility that is difficult to find elsewhere in life. Section 7. A balm for existence. Cultivating compassion as an antidote to suffering. Compassion plays a significant role in Schopenhauer's philosophy. By cultivating compassion, he argues, we can break free from the self-centeredness that fuels the cycle of desire. When we recognize the suffering of others, our own desires pale in comparison. Compassion shifts our focus outward. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. We begin to see beyond our own limited perspectives. We develop a sense of empathy that helps us to transcend our individual suffering. Acts of kindness and selflessness, motivated by genuine compassion, chip away at the walls of ego that separate us from others. By alleviating the suffering of others, we indirectly alleviate our own. Compassion, therefore, becomes a powerful tool for finding meaning and purpose in a world filled with pain. Section 8. Embracing serenity. The liberating power of resignation. Resignation, in Schopenhauer's philosophy, does not mean giving up on life entirely. It is a profound acceptance of the world as it is, without the constant struggle to change it. It is not about passively accepting suffering. Rather, it is about understanding that suffering is an inherent part of life and choosing not to be consumed by it. Instead, it is about relinquishing our attachment to outcomes. This detachment allows us to experience life more fully and with less stress. It is about accepting the reality of our situation, both the good and the bad, with a sense of tranquility. This acceptance brings a deep sense of inner peace. When we are attached to specific outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Our expectations can become a source of constant frustration. We become slaves to our desires. These desires can dominate our thoughts and actions, leading to a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. Resignation, on the other hand, allows us to find a sense of peace in the present moment, regardless of our circumstances. It helps us to live more mindfully. This does not mean that we should not strive for improvement or set goals. Ambition and growth are still important aspects of life. It simply means that we should not be overly attached to the results of our efforts. By doing so, we can enjoy the journey without being fixated on the destination. By letting go of our need for control, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that often accompany the pursuit of our desires. This liberation allows us to live more fully and joyfully. Section 9. Finding meaning in the void. A balanced perspective on Schopenhauer's pessimism. Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy is undeniably pessimistic. He paints a rather bleak picture of human existence, emphasizing the omnipresence of suffering and the endless pursuit of unattainable desires. He offers a stark assessment of the human condition, highlighting the pervasiveness of suffering and the futility of our desires. According to Schopenhauer, life is a constant struggle, driven by the insatiable will, which perpetuates a cycle of longing and dissatisfaction. However, his work is not without a glimmer of hope. Despite his grim outlook, Schopenhauer also explores ways to mitigate this suffering. Schopenhauer's paths to alleviating suffering, while challenging, offer a way to find moments of peace and tranquility amidst the chaos of life. He suggests that through certain practices we can achieve temporary relief from the relentless demands of the will. Through aesthetic contemplation, compassion, and resignation, we can temporarily transcend the cycle of desire and experience a sense of freedom from the will's relentless drive. Engaging with art, showing empathy towards others, and accepting the limitations of our existence can provide profound moments of respite. While Schopenhauer's philosophy may not provide all the answers, it serves as a powerful reminder of the impermanence of our existence and the importance of finding meaning and purpose in the face of inevitable suffering. His insights encourage us to reflect on our lives and seek out those fleeting moments of joy and connection. By confronting the darker aspects of life head-on, we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for the moments of beauty, connection and peace that make life worth living. In acknowledging the shadows, we learn to cherish the light even more.